Yar hiddly dee, a new commentary. Welcome as we once again return to the Monkey Island franchise for a rather interesting take, because this was made not just by LucasArts, but our good old friends of multi-episodic goodness. As soon as its logo pops up.
Telltale Games.
Rest in peace. Also, this is the final installment of the Monkey Island series to date.
First of all, rest in peace, and second of all, get fucked.
Rest in peace and get fucked.
Pretty much.
Okay, we miss you, but on the other hand, I want you to die.
Behold, the legendary 13th monkey of Montevideo, whose sacrifice will eternally bind the ocean
Why the monkey?
to my infernal
Well, again, it's all just part of this sinister plan, and actually, I want to say something real quick about LeChuck here. When this episode was first released, that actually wasn't Earlbone voicing him, but rather an actor standing in for him, Adam Harrington. When they got around to recording the final two episodes, they had Earl come back to redo his lines for episode 1 when they re-released it with the, whole series set.
Huh.
All right, LeChuck, put down the monkey and back away.
And for those wondering, despite what we may have said before, we're never touching Escape from Monkey Island. We're skipping right to the 5th game.
Guess so.
Yeah, because, well, yeah, no one likes that game.
and the seas will run red with the blood of
But yeah, as far as what's happening here, this is basically taking place after this grand adventure that just happened. We're at the tail end of this, and we're about to finally defeat LeChuck using this enchanted cutlass that's designed to pretty much obliterate him for good.
One LeChuck defeating cursed
Other than
episode.
that, for those who are hearing, they did manage to get every single other voice actor from the previous games.
They pretty much
Well,
did.
well,
Oh, yeah.
well, at the very least, the important three, which is, Dominic Armato, I forget the actress that voices Elaine, and then, of course, Earlbone, as you hear here.
I know this was around the time when the Monkey Island series was pretty much going through a pretty big running streak, as it were, because this was also around the same time where the first remake came out, and not long after we got the second remake.
Also,
Yeah.
guess other than what what Escape from Monkey Island did, I guess LeChuck is just a normal zombie this
Hey,
time.
remember, the root beer must be fizzy, that's
course.
important.
Yeah, that's very
But yeah.
important.
And also,
But I was
what's really fun is if you look closely at the recipe, the ingredients for it are actually MacGuffins from the various games. Like you have a voodoo doll, the Midas Diamond from the third game,
Yep, the Ultimate
Insult, which is the MacGuffin of the fourth game,
Yep.
and a voodoo doll from the second game.
and this is hopefully.
Beautiful buttocks.
Uh,
I said, Elaine, my beautiful
What's
buttocks.
up?
It's Stormy.
Buttercup, but you keep cutting me off.
Yeah. Yeah, these two are adorable together, and it just
Okay.
that's one of the reasons why I really do enjoy Tales as like an entry in the series. It really does a good job of showing just how well Guybrush and Elaine work on and off against
Well,
each
it's a
other.
good thing, too, that they're happily married.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Get anything from the hold? I brought some pot
so
stickers.
no pot stackers. So are
good one.
there?
Why do you keep shouting at me?
What's the difference?
The recipe says I'm supposed
Can you tell they've been married for over a year and a half now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually,
Or I guess if
like they acted like this even before they were married, so they were made for each other.
Some things just
True.
never change.
Yes,
Anyway, about that recipe.
Right, we gotta get the voodoo root beer that'll destroy LeChuck. But yeah, is LeChuck actually just a zombie this time? A demon? A ghost? Let's see.
he's along the lines of a zombie. At this point in the series, he's pretty much become like this, walking body of basically magic voodoo gunk, which hopefully we could be able to get rid of for good. It'd be a shame if this whole plan backfires because of some last-minute idiocy.
Yay.
All I was going to say to answer that question is just all of the above.
Yeah,
Well, I
I mean, that's the
suppose.
thing, like, I don't know what Escape... I'm so sorry, backing up for a bit. Wait, Jordy, how are you guys doing? Welcome to our adventures.
Hi.
I think this is Jordy's first time joining us for a Monkey Island.
Yeah, it is. I'm not gonna lie, I did want Jordan to be on board with this because of a few characters that we'll meet. And, you know, yes, it's true, she hasn't really had too many hands-on experience with the series beforehand.
And boys,
but
it's
to be fair,
it's kind of funny that we're bringing her on for the very last game in the series.
I was about to say, to be fair, that's basically what we did for Sam.
Yeah, that's basically what you guys did for Sam and Max, and I still caught on right away.
Alright.
Well, did you at least make sure to give Jordy her homework before having her on for this little project?
I trust her well enough to get
I was gonna say, I've kind of been
honestly,
preoccupied to do my homework.
So in other words, you've been procrastinating, young lady.
And
Yes.
honestly... Oh, now it's time to infuse the cutlass.
Do
it.
Come and get me, you dirt-digging doily dipper.
Whatever that is.
Who really knows?
Oh,
Guybrush, will you... Oh, devil damn it.
Oh.
Just you can just drop your sword there because I'm sure there's still some root there on
Again.
the floor.
we've died a lot of times in this series.
I just need to find
Yeah,
a fresh
well, Guybrush
supply
has
of
anyway.
possible to find voodoo root beer.
Why not just...
Sure hope
Why
that's
not
on
just...
the lane ship, 'cause mine's is
I was say, why not
Well, I get the feeling that, like... Well, I get the feeling that, like... what am I trying to say? I feel like it's probably already seeped into the wood and there's not
Shoot.
enough of it to cover the cutlass.
Fine. Then ram him with the boat. The boat's been enchanted.
Elaine has some bright ideas.
Has it been?
Well, if he got sprayed with the voodoo root beer by dropping it on it, then the
Well,
boat
it
would
has
be
to
entire
work with the
boat.
cutlass because...
Dang.
Well, it has to work with the cutlass because, again, the cutlass is what's designed to kill LeChuck.
Shoot.
Really?
What are you gonna
What's
do?
that better idea?
Whoop. Well, it could be this.
Oh. Okay.
That was just
What
held on by one rope.
Basically, the
mast?
mast fell over and we're using it as a platform.
Like-
that mast is surprisingly.
Flimsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Picking up a few tricks, darling.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
Where's-
damn it! Our ship.
Well,
My collection of autographs.
Our sextons.
you done fucked up again.
Some more sextants later. Just stop.
But they won't be autographed.
Freeport. So good of you to join us.
I just... Something about LeChuck's model's a little bit off. I think it's the lips.
Yeah, a little.
Well, he's always had
bit.
those big lips.
We'll probably ground
Like,
it later.
like,
Sorry it took so
I
long.
was about to say, I don't know why it's bothering you now. He's always had those big lips.
Did you miss me?
Buckets. Now put this
That's-
Maybe just how they're
Probably-
translated into the game.
You
What was that?
won't believe the adventures I've been
I said maybe just how they're translated into the game, or this one in
Maybe.
particular.
over dinner. Right after we stop
Mhm.
the
Alright.
rampaging and the pirates
So,
over there.
Jordy, what experiences have you had with Monkey Island
So,
in the
what have you
past?
been up to while I was out of
I mean, I've only heard of it on and off, like maybe through countdown videos, and I'm pretty sure Steve may have talked about it on and off. But other than that, I don't have too much experience with this game, but I'm looking forward to see what this one has.
And like I was trying to say like a few times, honestly, aside from a few characters reappearing and a few like throwaway lines here and there, I think the story itself is self-contained enough to where I think she can get along just fine even with her bare-bone knowledge of the series.
Yeah.
strange. LeChuck's soul-chilling schemes are
This is
usually so
also
well planned.
probably one of my few point-and-click games that I've ever played.
Really?
Really?
LeChuck.
Yeah.
So you never even played any of the other Monkey Island
No,
games?
I have. I've played the first two and this one. That's it.
Nay.
Oh, okay. Just the way you phrased it made it sound like this was your
I meant the series as a whole.
Within the entrails.
I mean,
That's
honestly,
fair.
I would say outside of the third game, that's really all you need as far as Monkey Island experience.
Monkey.
Which, I mean, it's funny because, like, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Like, it's funny to me that the Curse of Monkey Island is actually readily available on Steam and GOG now.
Yep.
Yeah. Actually, I think this game was the first one in the series I played. I didn't know anything about it until this one.
Your repeated deaths and dismemberments haven't dampened
Well, it's
your
good to know that the lack of experience didn't harp in your enjoyment of
Oh,
it.
yeah.
At least I hope it
You get a
didn't.
little cranky.
No, I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Oh, let's just get the record straight right now. As far as like all the games in the series, Tales of Monkey Island is probably one of the more, I don't know if I should say out there, but it definitely goes in a whole bunch of interesting little loops compared to the rest of the
Fan
franchise.
service. It's
Yeah, there's
fan
definitely plenty of fan
service.
service.
Pity's sake, just run it.
Yeah.
Which I honestly don't mind too much. And honestly, oh yeah, don't mind that. That's one of the few lines that they forgot to re-record.
That's fair.
And I just love that, like,
Yeah, you see?
Means that Elaine and I are married.
Yeah, because that's the thing with LeChuck. He kind of has the Bowser effect in that he really wants to marry Elaine, and he just can't really take a hint.
We'll have to do
Also, he also has the
Bunt.
Ow.
He's also really powerful.
Yeah, he has a magic.
But doesn't really do much with that power, considering we're still alive.
Well, he's too busy trying to get the spell with the monkey.
Also, he has the Eggman from Lost World effect, where he just kind of likes chumming it up and talking with his arch nemesis just because he can.
Let's see if we can
Like,
Oh, yeah,
honestly, the relationship between these three characters is almost very much akin to, like, say, something like Sonic and Eggman, and how much they have in terms of, like,
It's Elaine's barrel.
how should I put
Yeah.
it? They're kind of like frenemies in a sense.
I mean, honestly,
Yeah, basically.
if there was a go-karting game, he would be invited.
Oh, totally.
Let's see if these roots add anything to this.
Monkey Island Goop. Monkey Island.
Okay, a
Why has
plant.
no one made that yet?
Okay, a plant root and some diet beer grog.
Grog is bland, joyless, and jejune.
But it's also flat.
Well,
So
add
we're gonna
another
need those
Mentos.
mints again.
That's a good thing they're in
Just drop
ready
the whole
supply.
thing in.
Now that's some fizzy root grog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tastes like
Well-
monkey smell.
Well, again, here's hoping that these last minute substitutions definitely aren't going to screw over anything this time. I mean, we've pretty much done seen on the fly situations like this before. I don't see.
I think he skewered a hole
Oh,
in
the
the boat.
Yep.
Oh, don't worry, that won't
You know,
come
I'm,
back to bite us.
I'm
But yeah,
honestly surprised that the grog doesn't do that already, considering that stuff's supposed to be acidic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's looking.
Well, it's light grog.
Oh, okay, that's true.
fair.
Chuck.
I mean, this isn't even really that bad. We've jerry-rigged like Deus Ex Machina.
Unbelievably this.
Whoa, damn!
This?
Well, that didn't hurt
No, but
much.
he didn't give me much to work with.
Nope.
Ow!
You can't
Uh-oh.
Is it a thing? Does it take its time to work, or wait?
What's
There
Yeah,
it
it
goes.
does take
I mean,
its time to work.
I mean, come on. We've jerry-rigged a Deus Ex Machina before.
Dope.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember what happens.
Woof.
Yeah, it didn't
Whoa.
so much kill him as it did turn him human.
Oh.
Indeed. Look at that beard.
That's debatable.
He's
Yeah.
normal.
Drivers, quick.
Oh, but also pay close attention. All that voodoo, it had to go somewhere, and that somewhere just had to
Oh.
What are you doing? Finish him.
It's not
Yeah.
me, it's my hand.
be. Hey, damn it! Oh boy!
Oh, there goes the enchanted cutlass. Oh, and the grog did come back to bite us in the butt.
Oh,
Oops.
gunpowder!
Guybrush.
monkey?
God damn it.
Really, you had to add that
Fun
in.
there. It would.
Oh, like you're complaining.
If not him, it would have happened. So welcome.
Welcome to Tales of Monkey Island.
Basically, this was the thing that Telltale Games always wanted to do after splitting up from LucasArts in the
From
first
LucasArts,
place.
because
Yeah.
just as a reminder for those that don't know, Telltale Games, before it went belly up, did comprise of a lot of ex-LucasArts employees. So obviously they wanted to touch upon some stuff that they worked on before, like Sam and Max goes without saying, and now Monkey Island.
Yep. And I forget who worked on the. Yeah, that's about it. The theme is alright, but I do still hold by Curse of Monkey Island being my favorite rendition of it.
Agreed. Same here.
It was a good theme.
So
But yeah, what were you asking again?
me or no, I changed my mind because I was like, oh, who did Full Thought? No, that was actually LucasArts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, LucasArts basically all they did was just kind of publish
Ow.
the game. They
Mine?
just let Telltale do
Mine?
the work.
Oh, get out of here!
Okay.
Based on characters by Ron Gilbert. You did good
Yep.
work, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yes, he
it's,
did.
it's funny to
Go
think
ahead.
that Ron Gilbert, he went from doing all these like somewhat adult point-and-click adventure games with a sense of humor, and then he went on to doing edutainment stuff that lasted a good while.
Oh yeah.
I could have sworn. I thought that was Tim Schafer.
No,
that
it was
did that.
no Ron Gilbert was
Oh, wait.
the one that he was the one that founded Humongous. Last I checked.
Elaine?
Okay.
Ahoy there, me hearty.
Oh hey there.
Hello?
You're not Elaine.
Worry, we'll
You're
have you
definitely not
sucking
Elaine.
back a grog.
Whoops.
Oh, I don't. My
Yeah, we still have among other things, we still have a bit of a hand to take care
I
of
don't know
here.
what got into me.
Well, great, and we also just screwed up our first
Oh, this
introduction.
can't be good.
No, it isn't.
You really should
Oop.
have that looked at.
Oh hey, Harry Molman.
Huh?
The name's Nipperkin.
Yeah, it does kind of sound like
It
one.
is Molman.
Oh god, it is the same actor. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh god.
But yeah, this is basically, we're on Flotsam Island. This is the first of many locations that we're going to be going to throughout this series. And it's just your standard, island of pirates, including one that runs an information business in the form of newspapers. And he's just giving us the run on how exactly things have been going on all around in Flotsam. While we're trying to get a word in edgewise, but he just won't shut his devil damn mouth, so...
Yeah.
Also get a very good look at this guy, because a good half of the dozens in this entire game world look exactly like him.
Yeah, this was back when Telltale was still kind of struggling with making NPCs that really looked diverse.
Yeah.
And/or recycling models.
Where can I find a ship?
Well, that's what I
really
meant.
need to get back to the Rock of Gelato and find my wife.
Yeah, because there were a lot of models I could tell they reused for different characters.
Why not?
And we'll definitely be
But
seeing
yeah.
a good handful of them throughout the course of this seafaring adventure.
Yeah. But as for now, we also have a bit of a problem here. This island that we're stuck on, it has this weird thing where all the winds around it are pushing inward within the island. So any ships that go within those winds are pretty much pushed towards the island and they're stuck there. So we're gonna have to find some way to work around that.
Hence Flotsam.
The only person who I think might know a way off the island is Deep Gut.
Deep Gut?
Elaine's mother?
Gut.
Okay, sometimes it's just in the prompt that you see the joke and you're like, we would never say that.
Yeah, this is the only...
That's dumb.
I think this is like one of the only times it does that.
The Keelhauler Gazette would never be able to compete with those snooty prima donnas over at the Flotsam Times.
Where are the Flotsam Times? I want to know.
Even he might know something about Elaine. Where can I
Who really
find
knows?
this
But yeah. Basically, this guy, this Deep Gut that he's talking about, knows a lot about off-island news, and we're hoping we can be able to use that to find out where Elaine and LeChuck went.
Alright.
But I can pay you with treasure from my ship, which is probably at the bottom of the ocean.
Oops.
Forgot about that.
I'm also pretty sure Deep Gut is a reference to something else. I just can't remember what though. Like someone going
Deep
like, even that is a reference to something else. I just can't remember what.
I know of a deep throat,
It's-
but not a deep gut.
It's I know it's got something to do with someone going, like an informant going incognito.
And honestly, it's not that much. It's not that much different here, as
Yeah.
we'll see. As we'll see eventually.
Yeah, that is part of the reference.
I love this moment.
Yeah, this'll be a snap.
Nope.
A snap.
Snap.
A snap.
Just use your.
Welcome to Chapter 1, Launch of the Screamin' Narwhal.
Narwhals swimming in the ocean.
He launched a screaming narwhal. I'm so distracted.
So yeah, here we are on Flotsam Island.
And
But yeah, like I mentioned, basically our first thing is that Club 41. Remember that, we're gonna have to go into there later.
Attention.
But basically, the deal that we're making with our reporter friend there is that he's willing to introduce us to Deep Gut, so we can ask them about Elaine and whatnot. However, he will only give us that information if we help him come up with some juicy pirate news for him to publish in this paper. We are needing to do 3 things in particular. We need to start a bar fight, which, yeah, that's what Club 41's going to help us with. We need to help a pirate find a particularly valuable hidden treasure, and we need to ransack a ship, which thankfully there's already one here over at the docks, but yeah, but you'll see what happens.
Honestly, this whole section of the game right here is pretty much. I wouldn't be surprised if this was pretty much just a callback to the pirate trials from the first game.
could be.
Only a lot more simplistic.
And in some cases, in some ways, a bit shorter.
Well, leave it to
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Our sleepy little hamlet will be bubbling over with buccaneering boisterousness before you know it.
So, I guess we'll get around to this. Hype, having seen... Having watched all of our current Monkey Island things and stuff and playing them, how does this feel? Like, how does it play? How does it, compare to the, vanilla originals?
Well, I can say, first off, one thing that definitely took a bit of getting used to when I was recording is that when you have the move Guybrush around here, you don't just use the standard point and click like you usually do in the other games. You technically have to move them around with the WASD keys, and the point and click is just, well, you can get to a place quickly by double-clicking it and he'll automatically run there. But as far as like running around manually, you do have to use the keyboard.
Ah.
Then you need Morgan Le Fay.
And then, of course, you do have like your hotkeys to do other things, like bring up your inventory, as well as we've seen that a few times. But we'll also have things
Wait, a
like
fourth
the
one.
ability to combine our items, which is really interesting. And it's just it does take some getting used to if you're more accustomed to how the first 3 games work. But once you get adjusted, it's fairly easy to stick with.
Okay.
Did you say
Indeed.
alphabet sale?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's gonna come in handy a little later as well. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look through our jungle, and ooh, maybe this pirate can help us with our pirate news.
Hey, Nipperkit number 2.
Oh yeah, that's the second reuse of that one model.
Only this one comes in a sweet Spanish flavor.
With a beard. Also, I guess we should talk about that. What is the rules of our zombie hand? Sometimes it's evil, sometimes it's mischievous, sometimes it doesn't care.
Well, basically, the hand itself basically just kind of has a mind of its own. Like, for the most part, it'll just do some random twitching there like you see. But it will randomly do, like, things on its own. Like, for example, how it just starts punching people without our consent. And, yeah, that's one of the things that we're also going to need to as well. While we're doing our pirate news, maybe there's someone on the island that can help us deal with this poxed up hand of ours. Which, by the way, that's kind of the official term that the game has for anything, for all that LeChuck essence that's been going around. They call that the pox.
The pox.
The pox.
How many PP pirates do you have left?
But yeah, as for this guy here, basically those figures that he has there are porcelain power pirates, and he's in the middle of trying to find the most rarest one of all. And he thought he found it, however, like he says here, the map that he took to lead him to the treasure was kind of a ripoff.
Of course.
And guess who gave him the map?
It just keeps sending me in circles.
Yeah, it's just a one-time thing. It won't come back later, I assume.
I sure again hope not.
Pirate parents had him banned on account of his.
So yeah, I hope you remember all that, because yeah, that's gonna be the pirate. That's gonna be the treasure portion of our little 3 quest here.
Oh my.
Take it. It's useless.
Take
I'll
it,
let you know if
it's
I find
useless.
anything. You're sure this Dark Ninja Dave is a valuable treasure, right?
It's the stuff that dreams are made of.
Oh.
Porcelain dreams.
Yeah.
And considering that Guybrush has an irrational fear of porcelain,
The Explorer?
Don't.
Ow!
No.
That was worth a shot.
What's that big pink pile of
But yeah,
crap?
that's also another thing that, just to get Jordan up to speed, a running thing with Guybrush is that he has an irrational fear of porcelain.
He never did like it.
or if not
I
so much,
forgot-
if not,
Extra pink.
Forgot about that.
well, it's kind of one of those underplayed elements of the series. That being said, I guess it's sort of an exaggeration. I wouldn't call it outright fear. It's more like a overall disgust or disinterest.
Look, it's a Ninja Dave figure with
basically.
Bronze Star action.
Look over there.
Grab him.
Now let's just take one of these.
Might as well.
Okay, Guybrush. It's only a little porcelain. Just
You can do
Go to
it.
your happy place.
Okay.
Yeah. Get used to hearing the girls chuckling, because that's
Sorry,
honestly,
must have been a leak.
I'm not gonna mince words. I honestly think that Tails has probably some of the funniest dialogue in the series. Like, as much as I love 2 and 3 and even 1 having its moments, I can't remember. Oh, here's another one.
Whoa.
Wait a minute.
What?
This wasn't what I meant. He said he wished he could be the mightiest pirate ever, and it turned him into that.
Oh,
I guess he's learned now who he really is.
he is not a mighty pirate.
Smilin' Stan's Young Miss Mini Bombs. All the punch of larger mini bombs packed into a smaller package for
You could
PP
use a
pirate
few
hands.
explosives.
Well, at least they're free.
You know, I better just take all of them.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? What if I crammed all these mini bombs into a bigger bomb? That just
Bigger
defeats the
bomb.
purpose.
It's a good thing that he can store all this in his pants.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Main
And
menu.
also,
Wow.
just real quick, yeah, that's very much the map. But also, just before we end, I want to talk about that real quick because, spoiler alert, we're going to be rampaging through those jungles quite a bit. If you noticed on the lower left corner, there'll be a little button there. If you hit that button, it'll automatically take you back to like the entrance of the jungles, which does help a bit of backtracking in a sense.
It does.
But yeah, so yeah, join us next time when we hopefully try to find some more of these juicy pirate stories and maybe try to find a ship so we can get off this place. But yeah, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Till next time, everybody.
Bye bye, guys.
Bye.